Hi, everybody. Really nice to get to dive in today. Um, um, I lost my father a week ago. He he passed peacefully in his sleep. He was 98 and a half, and he was very dear to me. For the last 9 years, I've moved to their condo complex in Florida. In my condo balcony, I would go out and wave, and they would step out on theirs and wave. And I would see Dad daily. We played golf together weekly until a year ago. And I had the same name he does. He's Sid Jr. and I'm Sid the Third. I include this maybe as an indulgence, but more as a celebration, more as a fully including the personal, the humanity. I've been crying a lot, and I absolutely adore the tears. It's like I don't want to miss a moment of the tears. And this is where I'm so grateful for what we've been doing here because the tears, they're just love in my system. Every time the tears come, it's the depth of love, the depth of connectedness with what my father is. And then when I sink in a little further into that, all I find is beauty. But almost like I don't want to go too deeply into it. Like I don't want to miss the fullness of the human experience of this love. Even when it comes to sadness and grief, there's such love there. And it gives me such a depth of connectedness with my dad, with what my dad is to me, with our relationship. The the edge here for me has been how deeply can I be with what's here? Can I stay present in this? And I thought that might be a rich place to share amongst us today. And it's really in effortless IFS, it's the third view. It's, we start with the sense of this, the Advaita move, the Vedanta move, discernment between the discernment between this that doesn't come and go and the weather that changes, right? And we often practice, can we just abide as beingness? A lot of the spiritual non-dual traditions, this is where they take us to go there. My friends, Jack and Raymond are often pointing us there to this. And just for a moment, maybe just join me in that. Join me in your flavor of this that doesn't come and go, this sky, this beingness, this imperturbable presence. My friend John and I, we give it different flavors, like water, like love, sky is spaciousness, tree is clarity, fire as aliveness. What's the feel of it in your system right now? So this is what I call the first view. And so this is almost separating ourselves from the theater of our humanity, from our parts when we go here, right? When we abide here, we're just this awareness, this peace, this love. And then from here, we kind of open up to welcoming the full human experience, but we welcome it from here, from this awareness, from this peace, this love. And the second view that we often call the infinite hot tub or Rumi's guest house. And we just become curious about what's here. Because we go there together, and we're really gonna go to the third view in just a moment. But the second view of welcoming, like, what do you notice? What parts? What's the loudest part that's here for you? Oh, this group is something's a little different today because Sid just lost his dad and he's talking about this. Interesting. What parts are here? Or, gosh, there's so many things I have to do later today. A to-do part, a planner part. Or, wow, some of my favorite people are here with us. Like what parts are here? And as you notice your parts, or I'm just uncomfortable, or gosh, I really have an issue I'm going to talk about, can all of that be effortlessly welcomed by what it arises in, by this space, by your presence, by the love that you are? Just notice that. What's the relationship between you and this that arises? Our precious, precious expressions of our humanity, our parts, our wants, this that wants something. Can it all be welcomed? Can you find the okayness with everything that's here now? And what's your metaphor? How does your system make sense of this? Is it like the hot tub, just this warm love that welcomes everything? Is it more like that favorite Rumi poem that I love, The Guest House, where they're just guests, and it's like they're just here. They are. They're just being welcomed and enjoyed. Or what's your image? Is it more like what Sarah and I love, this movie Inside Out? Is it more like they even become characters? Or Haneen, who often, like, notice them as senses, the experiences of our senses that come and go. What's this like for you, and what's your relationship? So that's our second view. Now we're gonna go into the adventure land of what's arising inside of us. Like, of those guests in your guest house, what's the loudest one? Is it like, oh, where are we going next? What's gonna happen today? What's John gonna say today? What's the loudest part? What's the loudest voice inside of you? Now we're going to do something that might sound real antithetical to what we've been doing in EIFS. We're going to let that blend. We're going to let it have us. What if we just let that part have us? Let the curiosity of a part, the wanting of a part, the fear, the preference. What if we let it have us and we can feel it in our body? Instead of being this that is aware of, we just let it, we are this part. We are this preference. We are this want. And with that, do you feel some agitation? Is the aliveness different? Do you find a little tension and agitation in being that want? Gosh, I want to have fun today. I want to connect. I want to feel love, bliss today. I want relief. What's it like when you let it have you? It's what we call the third view, where it's an intimacy beyond intimacy. And what's it like now if we let ourselves sink into what's here, to the part that we're blended with, perhaps even identified with? What if we sink into that? Fully feel it. Let it have you. Let it be this that's looking through your eyes, that you're feeling throughout your body. And if this is uncomfortable, please feel free to just jump back to the second view or the first. But in diving into this third, what's it like to let the part, the identity look through your eyes? And now, and what's it like to fully feel this? How deeply can you feel this part? Can you feel this want? Can you feel this arising? How deeply, how subtly can you feel it? And as you are this part, this arising, can you also find in its very essence beingness here, self here, in the part itself, in the want, in the lack, in the preference? For some of us, some people call it radiant presence. Like it just lights up. The part lights up. Like those wonderful characters on Inside Out. Like you can just see, like you fall in love with the parts, the beauty that they are. See if you can feel, and just notice how you find it. If you can find it, maybe there's a little presence. I find presence here. I find stillness. I find aliveness. What's your flavor of beingness? Can you find a flavor of beingness in the part itself as you're letting yourself blend and identify as it? What can you find here? We'll just feel into it for just a moment more, then maybe we'll go around and see what you were able to find as this part, as the contraction of the weather, of the preference, of the want. In the contraction itself, as we sink into it, what do you find? Is there peace here? Is there stillness here? Is there tenderness, love, aliveness, presence, connectedness? What do you find? What's your word? I'd like to invite everyone to find a word. In a moment, we'll come back together and perhaps even coming together as this part, as blendedness, and to let us know what flavor of self you find here. And just as we come back together, before I forget, let me just say my thing really quickly. I'm a mediator, not a psychotherapist. If everybody's good being responsible for their journeys, can I get a thumbs up from you, please? And I've got this being recorded, but only my image is ever shared. Ever discomfort with anything you say, let me know. We'll delete it, or we'll have you be a co-host and pause the recording. If everybody's good with that, this might be shared. If I could get a thumbs up. All right, who wants to go first? What's your word? What did you find in the contraction itself, in the part? What's here?
I can go.
Giddy! Yay!
Compassion is the word that comes up, and um, I thought it was such an interesting exercise to just say, go ahead, blend with the part, just blend, and it's almost like a calling it out um, by just allowing it. It's something else, the compassion or the stillness underneath was able to just be there. It's paradoxical somehow. Because I've never I think that sometimes there's a part that's wrestling with the parts too much, and just saying, okay, let's just blend, quieted that one that was wrestling with it, and then it could feel the quiet beneath that a little bit more. So
Thank you. So what was that like for us when we hear Jenny describe what it was like in her system? That a wrestling, a part that resists. Like, what are you crazy? We don't blend. The whole idea of IFS is not to blend. Could you find, did you have parts that were resisting this? I don't want to blend with this. It's uncomfortable. I prefer that self thing, that beingness, the feeling of that. I don't want to be like this. Did you have parts that resisted? And did you, as Ginny was leading us, and she said there was a sense of allowance here, could you find that? Were you able to find allowance in your system to let it have you? And if so, did something change as it did in Ginny's system when allowance was here? And she said she was able to feel, to see what was beneath it. What was beneath it, the stillness and compassion. Thank you, Jenny. That was just so exquisite. Is it all right? I just for speed, especially because I it has to be such a short group today. Unfortunately, because of the damn attorney. Let me just I'm just gonna go around if it's okay and just call as far as how the name everybody shows up on my screen. And as always, feel free to pass. Um, I'm gonna go like Sarah, Haneen, Raymond, Zoe, Goldie, John, and Jack. Um, Sarah, what did you find?
For me, it was nurture, um, a nurturer part that came up to nurture the system.
What was that like? Anything else you'd like to share with that, Sarah?
For me, it brought a lot of comfort. I had a part that needed comforting, an anxious little girl part, and the nurturer came in, and it brought a lot of comfort.
Thank you. Just so we don't miss it, and some of you haven't spent much time with Sarah. Can you can you feel this beingness that's there, this nurture, this love in Sarah? What's that? What does that touch? How does that resonate in your system as we feel Sarah's this love that her parts are receiving? You have parts that are like, oh, I want to be in, I want to go into Sarah world and feel that love. Thank you, Sarah. Just before we go to Haneen, just to share a little more, like this is why I love what we're looking at here, because this is the edge in my world right now, with the sadness, with the grief, with the pain of loss. It's like it's been such a beautiful invitation that I just haven't wanted to miss a minute of it to to stay there in the parts that are feeling the sadness and to notice what opens in this third view. Like what is, it's just been so sweet, the sadness, the sense of loss. They're like, where's my dad? It's just like really, because just like what Jenny was saying, I have parts that come up and respond to that. And when I don't get caught in the parts, I get to stay in the the preciousness that's here and it opens up and it just keeps opening. Thank you, Sarah. Haneen, what are you finding?
Lots of sensations. Almost like a little difficult to put a word on it. Like it's I can't find anything to describe that with a word right now. It's just lots of sensations. It's welcomed, it's observed, yet the blending with it almost shows how it's seeking and trying to find something. Ich komme gleich. Ali? Um, like a little dance of back and forth, almost like blending with it and then going back, and it's happening simultaneously, but there is like a in and out while seeing it takes shape and form specifically in the face area, and then it widens again.
Takes shape and form in the face area. This back and forth. What's all of our versions of that as we blend with a part or parts, or in like Haneen's system, it's just sensations. As she blends with the sensations, takes form in the face, and then it opens back out to the beingness, maybe to the space, to, and I'm going to ask, like, I'm curious what it opens to in Haneen, and like in your system, is there a back and forth? And when it opens back, what does it open to? What's the word? What's the flavor of self, of beingness? And when you blend, is it like what Haneen was describing? Does it just like in the face? How do you know that it's blended? Do you see it in the face? Do you feel it as a, how do you know? So Haneen, what is it? What is it? What's the word that it opens to when it opens back up in your system? What's the word for that for you?
Clarity.
Hmm, clarity. And then in Haneen's system, it's sensations. Is it, what's your relation with the sensations? When the sensations come on, and especially if they come on strong, is it like in Jenny's system, there's some parts that come up and it's like, maybe I don't like this so much, or resistance? And is there, what's the relation to it? Or is there, and how much enjoyment of the sensations? What do you find? What's the relation to the sensations?
Curiosity. Um, Lots of joy, and yet no joy at all. It's the blending of it where the resistance appears as resistance, and then this in and out is the curiosity almost that feels like allows then the discovery or the exploration or just the going really in and going into the heart of it.
Mhm. Going into the heart of it, the in and out, as we can hear Haneen's words, but can we also feel what it's like, this movement inside her system, this curiosity, oh, going in, this intimacy with the sensations, like really feeling them, and it goes back out to this clarity back in. What's the gift of what Haneen just shared? What are you able to receive for that from her for your own system? It's like, oh, wow. And could you, it was also the way she was describing it. It was almost like a feeling tone as she was describing it. What's it like to know this experience inside of you of contraction and openness, all from feeling, all from sensation? Thank you, Haneen. We're moving kind of fast today. It's a lot. Just before we go to Raymond, how are you doing? How's everybody doing? What's it like being you right now? What's it like being you? And just notice the thoughts, the narrative voices, the sensations, the parts that come up. How are you? And what's it all arising in? What's the flavor of beingness that's here for you? What did you find, Raymond?
I didn't find anything because I wasn't looking. No, I'm being a little bit disingenuous there. But when Haneen said it feels like joy, but it doesn't feel like joy, a little bit of that, totally got that, because of course invisibility is indescribable, isn't it? How can you describe something that's invisible? Well, you can feel it, so you describe the feelings. So obviously, and I think it was Jenny, yes, that said it. So obviously said naturally I feel I feel connected to your own situation with your dad. And I'm not focused on anything, but we don't invite thoughts in, do we? Well, we can, but normally we don't. I don't sit and go, I'd like to be really anxious right now, please. And then all these anxious, it doesn't happen like that. It just arrives. I have no choice in the matter. So what did arrive as you were talking was a whole mixture of things. Well, one is I don't have a relationship with my dad. So my dad's alive, but I don't have a relationship with him. And that's not predominantly my choice. It is now to some degree. And I'm not going to go into that, but you can imagine, and my parents were divorced when I was about 6, both remarried. And so that whole parental um, stuff that gives you that, we're always looking at our attachment styles, your John Bowlby, for those that know these things. Am I a secure attachment? Is it an insecure attachment? And we dance about with all this. Well, it's both. Sometimes we feel secure and sometimes we feel insecure. Sometimes I feel like a wee boy that would love my daddy to look me right in the eyes and say, I love you so much, Raymond. You're a beautiful boy. Sometimes that comes in as a memory. And then another wee memory that flashed in. There's lots going on. It's like Sky TV up here. I just need to choose the channel. And I'm channel hopping right now, and I'll be there very quickly, Sid. But so the full circle is there's me and my dad, there's Sid and his dad, completely different dynamic. And then there's me as a dad. I've got 4 children, they're all grown up. And my second oldest son sent me a text because I got divorced about 5 years ago, so I don't live with my children. And so all sorts of energies come up, but I felt them all already very deeply. So they don't sting the same. It's like bees without a sting. That's what it's like. They come in like little bees, but they don't really hurt as much anymore. But my point there is I don't live with my kids just now, but that was the most painful experience of my life, was to leave my children. That was painful. So it's took me years to feel a lot of that. But my son sent me this wee message on the weekend, and he said, "Dad, I've had a couple of drinks." He's 24 years of age. He's allowed to have a couple of drinks, right? And he says, "But I just want to say how much I love you, how much all my gifts and talents are as a result of how good a dad you are." And so the beauty of my trauma, of not having a dad to look me in the eyes and tell me that I'm beautiful and loved, that gap, that missing thing is the very reason that I'm a beautiful dad myself. I can look into all my children's eyes and I can say, I love you. You're so precious to me. Because I know what it feels like not to have that. So I both feel like what not to have it, and I feel like it is to give it. So that's a full circle right
Beautiful.
there. So that's all the stuff that floats about in me when you're talking about your father
Hmm.
and yeah, so it's beautiful, Sid. There's no, it's like what you said about the tears and the pain. Pain is not the problem for me. It's the relationship that I have with pain that's the
Hmm.
problem. I've got a good relationship with the painful parts, if you can call them that, of myself. So when little Raymond arrives and he wants somebody to look in his eyes and tell him he's beautiful, I love little Raymond. I love that little boy so much. So there you go.
Thank you. Gosh, so what was that like for each of us as Raymond was channel surfing through his system? He shared it with us that we got to go in. What was that like? What what were the gifts for you? Raymond quoted Haneen. It feels like joy, but doesn't feel like joy. What's it like having the sense of the both, the joy and the not the joy? Almost the same thing when Raymond speaks about secure attachment and unsecure attachment. We all find that with our parts. Raymond's like, I'd love I have parts of me that would love my dad to look me in the eyes and say, I love you, right? This yearning for secure attachment. But maybe just like Haneen, as she was walking us into the parts, the contraction that were here, which since and then, but they weren't fully there. There was a little transparency in the unsecure attachment, like in the want. If you can find parts that are longing for something, longing for, I mean, I can find this with my father, parts of me like, no, you can't leave. What? I need my dad here. I love my dad. What would life be like without my dad, right? It's like the parts that are yearning for, and then at the same time, simultaneously, it's like this okayness that's here. Can we touch the both, the joy and the not the joy, the contraction and the peace and the okayness simultaneously? Raymond describes that in his journey, he used this line, I felt them already. It's like he's felt the lack, the yearning, the unsecure attachment, the parts that are yearning for this. Like perhaps in his system, they have been so deeply felt. He's played this game that we played today, like going deeply into the parts and letting them have you. And he's felt it so much that it's like the bees have lost their stinger. It's like self has started, like Rupert Spira describes it as they become somewhat transparent, like the parts become beingness shines through. What's that all like in your system? Again, as always, we're only interested in what's happening in you, how this is playing in you. What gifts are you able to receive, and what's it like inside of you? Gosh. So as we get ready to move to Zoe, because the good news is we've got 22 minutes left, and we get to hear from Zoe and Golly and John and Jack. Like, are you also curious? What's this like inside of them? How's this play? Like we've been hearing about it in Jenny and Sarah and Haneen and Raymond. Okay, you ready, everybody? Okay. Here's Zoe. What's this like in you, Zoe?
Um, I'm not sure I've got a lot to say. I have quite a bit of physical pain today. So at the beginning, I was kind of noticing how many parts struggle with that and want to push it away. And so I was kind of just appreciating kind of just allowing that pain to be there, allowing it, and at the same time, you know, touching into it being okay. And and holding it.
Funny when you say you didn't have a lot to share. For me, what you just shared goes right to the very heart of what we're exploring here. We can all find this, right? The physical pain. And then as Zoe describes, the parts that don't want it, they resist it. We can all find that too. Like, gosh, how can I get past this? Maybe I'll take some Tylenol. Like they don't want the physical pain. And then Zoe's like, and I'm just, it's like to allow it, the pain to be here. To allow the pain to be here, to welcome it, to be the pain, to sink into the pain. What's that like? Can we all follow that and just the resistance that comes and the option of what's it like if it's not being resisted? What's the experience of pain like if it's not being resisted? And is it possible that the pain could even open up to something else if we really sunk into it? What's this all like in you, Zoe? What's it like this that with being what you just described? What's it like being with the pain?
It's the parts are very vocal in kind of expressing their fears, and so there's kind of a lot. It feels quite busy. There's a lot going on. There's that, and then there's kind of this a, a kind of deeper instinct that the word that kept coming up was rest. It's okay to rest, and that felt kind of, yeah, almost like a kind of a really deep kind of like drum beat in my system that was just, yeah, saying that word over and over, kind of over and over again, not fast, but just kind of slowly and steadily and rhythmically. And yeah, it was just sitting with noticing both of those things going on at the same time.
Can we each find the both of these things as we notice some physical pain, some physical discomfort? Can we find the busyness, the parts that say no, the resistance, the expressions of our parts, where the theater becomes active inside? And then something very radical where Zoe took us, that it's okay to rest here. What do you mean, parts? No way, I don't want to rest in this pain. Okay to rest here. What's that like inside of you? Just one last discernment. Are we with the pain? Or can we even be as the pain? With or as? Notice your system, and there's no pushing here. Just notice what is your relation with the pain and how intimate can it be? Final word, Zoe?
Yeah, your invitation to be as the pain, that kind of just landed in a way of just, there was kind of no either or at that point, and the parts just kind of, they just they just stopped resisting, and kind of, it's almost like a house of cards that they just kind of folded down.
Thank you. we able to follow that? Are we able to follow Ginny with that as she describes the house of cards just folding down the resistance? Can we feel it? Is that possible? Can we put that possibility in our systems? This gift of where Ginny led us. Thank you, Ginny. Sorry, Zoe. Sorry, where Zoe just led us. Wow, thank you, Zoe. And I wish we had more time. I'm so sorry for the lack of time today as we keep we're having to go quickly. You ready? We're going to go to Goldie's system now. See what it's like for her. Goldie, hi.
Um, well, first of all, I'm so sorry for your loss, Sid. Well, when you were talking, it brought up the feeling and sadness I had. I still have. I've had since I lost my loved ones, which are not like my brother, my brother-in-law, my father, my sister, my mom, and with each of those loss, something deep cracked up in my heart, a, a very deep sadness. But as you said, sadness was rooted in love. So it's like, as you said beautifully, it's like a sweet sadness because it comes from love. Um, and still, it's very alive. The sadness is very alive still. Mm, so yeah, I feel it. I feel the sadness, but um, like you said, we can be blended with it. For me, it's just I'm aware of it. Um, it's there. I can feel it. It's just still open in my heart, but um, yeah, it is alive, and I'm aware of it. I'm not blended with it though.
What's that like? That it's alive and you're aware of it with the sadness of your brother, your brother-in-law, your sister, your father, your mother. What's it like that's all alive in you?
It's the kind of aliveness with a kind of appreciation for who they were and for the effect their loss had on me. I mean, it just that deep, deep sadness opened my heart. It's just, I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, maybe if it was not for that, my heart still was closed. I couldn't feel that much love in it. Now I feel that intense love, which is the root of everything else, all other emotions. They're all rooted in that. Thank you.
Nicole. Counterintuitive, isn't it? Describes feeling the sadness as Gully's describing, letting herself go so deeply into the sadness. It opens into this love. It opened her to this love, this deep, deep love. And how does that play for our parts that arise, or the pain that arises in our system and our parts? That our other resistant parts say, no, we don't want to go there. I don't want to feel that. I don't want to go there. But just like Jenny, when we allow ourselves to go there, or Zoe allow ourselves to feel the pain, or Haneen, let it come in and open, or Raymond, the bee loses its stinger. So how are you? How's everybody? What's it like to be you? What parts are here? What thoughts are here? And what's it all arising in? Got two more features for you. We've got John and Jack coming up. John, what's it like for you? What do you find?
Um, it's a little tough for me today to feel like I'm skillfully navigating the parts I'm with. There's like a very familiar part in my right hip that just feels like concentrated pain and anxiety. And it's kind of just like an oil well that just like keeps going. Is like, um, and there's moments where it feels like I can be with it and I'm like riding it a little bit and then I start resisting or start trying to push it and then I pop out and yeah, it's just like a lot and it doesn't feel too bad being here with y'all with it, but um it does cause me to struggle to like maintain some sort of proper parts self-orientation as I'm with it. I say proper, like some one that feels good, I guess. Yeah.
Let me pause for just a moment. As John describes the pain in his right hip, the pain and anxiety, what's our version of that? What's our part? What's our part that's like our oil well? It just keeps gushing of I want, I prefer, I resist, I don't want. What's your part right now that's most like John's, the gushing oil well? And can we relate to how it changes as John was describing? At some moments I can be with it, can be intimate with this part. Maybe it's a welcoming, or maybe it's just really embodying, just really being so intimate with it. And then John describes, and there's resistance. And then I pop out. Can we find that with what's arising in us? This intimacy, this being with, the resistance becomes louder, and then we pop out. What's it like for you moving along that spectrum, John? What's that like?
Um, it's frustrating. It's just like other parts come in and I like yeah, so I feel frustrated and then I start trying to manage it or like figure it out. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Are we able to see the theater of John? Like he's like a favorite TV show. Like we can see what's happening and we can see, can we enjoy this? It's frustrating. It goes from intimacy, resistance, popping out, and then all these parts come in. Like, you need to do it differently. You need to do it better. It should this way. Can we enjoy what's happening inside John? Can it be like a favorite TV show? Can we enjoy it? In love, right? In love for our friend, in love for his parts, the innocence of all of that. In John, can there be some enjoyment, fascination, curiosity about this interplay, about how this is playing inside your system? What's that like being able to see, like you're able to tell us about it, this awareness of what's happening? What's that like seeing how it plays inside of you?
I wanted to say frustrating again.
And so the part that's frustrated, right? The process frustrated, like, gosh, I don't want it this. Can that one be seen too? Can we zoom out a little bit so even that can be seen as a character, the frustrated one?
Yeah. Um uh it's I get glimpses or I can be out I can like be aware of all of it for a little bit and then the pain like pulls me in. Um,
How about that? What he's describing. He's also saying they can be aware of it all, just a few moments, and then the pain, the part pulls him in. We all can relate to this, right? And as we can see it in John, if we can see it in John, it can be easier to see it in John than our own systems. If we can really see it, if we can appreciate it, be curious about it. Final thought, John?
um No, I mean, I feel there's like a little, I feel a little bit more out. I can still feel it going. There's still a little blending, but I feel a little more out just talking about it. So I
Mm,
appreciate that. Yeah.
awesome. Thank you. A little bit more out, a little bit more space. You notice that in all of our systems. Okay, good news, everybody. Take a big, I'm gonna do a little breath to get ready for this one. Because we have our friend Jack that's about to share his inner reality for us. And with Jack, you never know what's gonna come. Are you ready? It's like a grab bag at a birthday party at the end. Like, what's the prize gonna be? Ready? Jack, what's going on? What's it like there?
Well, I can definitely relate to the pain that people have been talking about more recently, but that's not, and when you first asked for a part that was loudest, I was a little bit like Raymond, but I was looking Raymond in my case, and nothing came strong. And then all of a sudden I realized, oh, what him held up his hands. Oh, what about me? What about me? And it was this pleasure seeking part that's always looking for the next dopamine hit. It's always looking to be in a state of serotonin pleasure, right? That no, it actually knows that that's not some kind of end of suffering, right? It's not that fooled, but it can always try to be figuring out just the next little thing that can give me some pleasure, right? And it could be all different. I mean, it could be a bite of food, a little bit of sex, it could be a good book, could be
What's it
just
like
being
to be that,
entertained.
Jack? What's it like
Right.
to be
So
that
so I
part?
almost just got up and left and went out to do something like that. Had I really, but I didn't blend that much. That's what it's like.
Mm,
Just to get off and look for something else to do. Um, yeah, that's what it's like. I'd leave, but I didn't. Do you understand what I'm saying?
yes. It's like,
Okay.
hey, we could go play with my grandson. I could go have some vanilla ice
Well,
cream.
actually,
I could go
I
turn on my
can't
favorite
go play with
movie.
my grandson right now, but in fact, I'm a little jealous because my wife's been playing with the grandkids for like the last week, and I haven't really seen them at all. So that's an interesting situation. But I played with them all Sunday. But
Let me ask everybody, like as we hear Jack speak about this part, this pleasure-seeking part, looking for the dopamine, can we all enjoy the aliveness of that part? The aliveness. Oh, what can I find that's going to be fulfilling? That's going to be dopamine. That's going to be enjoyment. It's like,
it knows it's not going to be fulfilling for any length of time, but it does know it's going to be enjoyable. It doesn't.
yeah,
It's really not full to think it's going to be any kind of fulfillment. It's too wise for that.
yeah, yeah.
It's just wise enough to be able to figure out how to get the dopamine. You know what I mean?
But just for
Anyway.
that, but that's enjoyment that we're hearing in Jack. Can we appreciate it? Are you able to enjoy and seeing it in Jack? And then what about when it comes in your system? Like I want. No, I want that candy bar as I'm checking out from the grocery store. I want it. I want. Can we love that? Can that be just fully welcomed and enjoyed that aspect of us? And, oh gosh.
For me, not for too long. I can't do that for too long. I'll end up dying of diabetic gangrene of my legs or something like that if I keep doing that kind of stuff. So I got to be careful.
Any final thoughts with all of this, Jack, as we move towards closure as a group, or anything you'd like to share as far as
Yeah, that's not a
summarizing what you've
part. That's not
seen?
a part I typically blend with. I try to avoid blending with it, to be honest with you. So it was interesting to try sitting here when I wasn't going to actually indulge it necessarily. No, actually, I know I'm going to go indulge it all afternoon. As soon as this meeting stops, I'm going to go off and indulge it. I'm doing some this afternoon, which should give me lots of dopamine hits. I'll be fine.
Doesn't that sound fun, everybody? Like to indulge it? Oh gosh. We've got like 30 seconds a minute left before my alarm goes off. Everybody doing okay? Any final thoughts? Anything that needs to be said? Everybody all right? Such a privilege. And thank you for the space for me. This was just to get to, oh, there goes the alarm. Uh, the to get to get to be transparent together and to get to share what's really going on here with you all is just fairly special. Um, thank you for being in my life. Thank you for getting to explore together, getting to dive in together, and the privilege of getting to meet you and you meet me. Huh? I'll see you later. Hope to see you soon,
Yeah, thank you
everybody.
for inviting me, Sid. Thank you for inviting me.
Bye.
Thanks, Sid.